Welcome back to No Chill with Gilbert Arenas, coming to you from the Blue Wire studio at the Wynn in Las Vegas for NBA Summer League. Our guest today, 2010 College Player of the Year out of the Ohio State University, went on to be the number 2 pick by the Sixers, played 10 seasons in the league. Now you can catch him and Andre Iguodala doing their Point Forward podcast. Evan Turner, we appreciate you pulling up, brother.
I appreciate you.
We got a studio audience. Look at us. We Vegas, baby. We Vegas now.
Appreciate y'all being here, man. Big pod, always been a fan, but thank you for having me on, for real.
No problem.
And y'all doing Point Forward. We do No Chill. You got Knuckleheads. You got so many other people in the pod space, but everybody thinks like we got beef or we competing, but there's bags for everybody. These bags are flowing. So,
I know,
salute to y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And, obviously we see each other in past and we always been big fans. And great content and, great talk is everything. And I much rather listen to y'all than some journalists. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's real. And Gil is one of the funniest dudes on earth. So.
See, that's why ESPN fired a whole bunch of people. Like, y'all got competition now. And the best thing about the pod, us athletes coming back, the podcast and just tell our stories that we have one thing over them. We have relationships with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an understatement. Yeah,
so we can just go on each other's podcasts, tell our stories and vibe, and they can't mimic that.
Yeah, and that's real. I think the only thing that, like, you might get mad at is, like, you might have me on a pod and I might tell certain stories and I go on a different pod and tell another story and it goes viral. And you're like, bro, why the hell didn't you tell that on? Like, when you think about the numbers, like, we need the numbers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We're going to get the viral on this pod. We already did other research and we fill in the blanks too. I never like to come in and do something somebody else already talked to you about. We all try to add another layer to it. Yeah, there is some overlap though, but we got a lot of stuff to get into today. But before we talk about all that, I was perusing your Twitter before we did the show. Saw somebody try to clown you the other day. They put up like that graphic of the number 2 overall pick from 2009 to 2012, but you clapped back at them with the resume, 10 years, 8 playoff appearances, $100 million in contracts. But what's it like for you when people who've never hooped try to take shots at you in your career?
It's just it's somewhat bizarre, you know what I mean? When you put yourself in like another position, like when you don't like really hate yourself, like sometimes you're like, how you walking up to me hating? Like, that's some weird ass shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you dead ass stopped. Went on your phone, just got to hating. That's kind of OD, but life is too good, to be honest with you. Like, life is OD good. So sometimes, like, even when I trip, I'm like, bro, I'm up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm up. So, I kind of laugh at it and go find my next thrill for real. And, kind of keep it real on what it is. The game of basketball, you're always going to, have mountains and hurdles to climb. And, you have a lot of years of trying to be an alpha or being a man. And, one thing with sports, it teaches you humility. And a lot of times I think one thing that occurs just in my journey and my path is trying to just handle it the right way as like a champ, quote unquote, and not like be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
So like when it came down to it, I wanted to make sure I show up to work each day. I wanted to make sure I kept competing. I wanted to make sure, like, when I was in a star role, I wanted to accept the role that I always asked other people to do. So if it came off being, like, the 6th or 7th man, I was like, let me just be real and try my best doing that. Or if it came to, taking a step back and, mentoring a rookie, I was like, let me try to hardly go and do that. But, I just really always try to keep it open and realize that I've been blessed. So,
no one really understands the whole aspect of being drafted, right?
Yeah.
When you think about, top 10 picks, everyone thinks, oh, these going to change our franchise. Yeah. Not realizing that you still have to go in that locker room and change those guys' mind too.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, like, yeah, they're paying me, but if they have an old vet in there, they're like, nah, I'm not giving it to you right now.
That's the truth.
And you mentally have to say, all right, stand down. And that right there might hurt your progression.
Yeah, or like we compare it right now and you're right there for it. I came in and the all-star on my team was Andre Iguodala, a future Hall of Famer. And, number 2 pick, you're supposed to, roll, do this, that, and a third. John Wall came in where? The Wizards.
Yep.
Shit, you come in, enjoy your last couple months. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You traded so they can let John be the alpha and get the real alpha out of there. Because at the end of the day, whether you think so or not, guys in that position are too cool. You battle too much. But the number one thing is having the time to learn. You know what I mean? And kind of, develop, step in and step out. I was able to develop and learn how to win and how to be a pro. But when it came to being like a franchise, there was never opportunity to do so due to the fact of, we had a franchise guy like Iguodala. Drew Holiday was unbelievable at that time, and I thought we built a great core that could have been something. But in order to be like a franchise dude, I've never went one season just shooting 20 shots. Like, you know how big of a deal that, like, you know what I'm saying?
I remember you even said that you wanted to play with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I do too, so I ain't got to get put on the bench.
That's what I'm saying.
I seen the writing on the wall. I remember when the number 1 pick came through, and I was in Chicago, and I went into demon time. That's when I grew my hair out, everything. Yeah. Oh, I was like, yeah, I'm watching all the film on. I'm like, yeah, John, I'm about to get it, right? Yeah. Went to training camp, not talking to nobody. Like, yeah, it's war, right? It's war. Young fella ain't about to get this. And then he came up and said, oh my God, what's up, Gil? Big fan, man. I'm glad to play with you. And just that right there took everything out of me. I'm like, everything I done worked for. I'm watching all the movies, Undefeated, right? I'm watching all these little gangster movies.
Everything. Like, you like, no, this is Legends Never Die type shit. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm a big fan, man. I can't wait to work. You know, teach me everything. And I'm sitting there like, what have I been on for the last 2 months, man? Dude is me.
Yeah.
Right? And then from there, I was like, man, this your team. Yeah. Like, whatever you need, I got it. I'll fall back. Like, and then I just gave it. There was no fight. There was no battle. This is yours. I'm out.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? So
that you charge it to the game of like what it is. You know what I mean?
And it was just one of those things, but that's not how it always happens. So people don't take that in consideration that, you know, you have other players on teams that's trying to establish themselves. The pick before you, the pick before that.
Lou Williams from high school.
Yeah, they want to be like that. He said, like, man, I just got rid of Iverson. It's my turn. Yeah, like, they got the number 2 pick, right? And people don't understand that. And sometimes, you know, as a player, you're sitting there like, man, I'm new here. I don't know what to do. Let me just try to figure this out, and, you know, let me just get in here, right? I don't want to be hated.
No, that's real. And when you walk into a locker room filled with men, like, I know you think you a cool kid, but like, to be a cool kid in an NBA locker room, like, you gotta really earn your rights. And, you know, but one thing about that point, I don't know how it would have turned out, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I only take what I can from it, and I learned how to be a pro. I learned a lot about, you know, maybe I want to stay in the league for 10 years if I didn't go through those situations and those trials and tribulations, because I had a lot of great players around me. Drew Holiday, Andre Iguodala, Lou Williams, Elton Brand, Thad Young, Spencer Hawes, and even Nick Vucevic. So a lot of killers in that situation where, you know, you learn how to come up and adapt. But, you know, that was a great moment in time and something good on my Wikipedia. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like, that was my 20s I went through. And,
that's my 20s.
Yeah, that's my 20s, and it was lit. But, you know, that conversation, you always hear about the second pick. And I think at the end of the day, like, to respect the GOATs and the guys that actually did it, you got to show them the proper respect for their journey. And the what ifs or shoulda, woulda, couldas don't really matter. It's the result.
Mm-hmm. So what was it like for you, though, being that number 2 pick, walking to that Sixers locker room? Who were the guys, who were the vets that took you under their wing? Or was there beef, like Gil, you were saying, when John Wall first came in, you weren't fucking with him, but then eventually it's like, all right, let me, you know.
But being honest with you, there wasn't any, like, really crazy beef. You know, Andre Iguodala was a franchise player at the time. I was coming in as a, 2 pick. Back in the day, it wasn't like you had a loaded team of like 4 or 5 guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was 1 or 2 alphas. And they can only be there and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? It was like, if I show up, this Andre stuff. So me and Dre, we would butt heads, ironically enough, a little bit. So I remember we would butt heads the whole year, like go back and forth, butt heads. So we played 1-on-1, and right before we play like game 3 versus Heat. So like, I think I could be gassing it, but there's a lot of people in the gym. So whatever occurs, we spar, we go to war, we go out the bam, shake hands, you know what I mean? The next day, we actually win that game, you know? So we were like, bro, this whole year we've been arguing, wrestling with each other, bro. We could have just been helping make each other better and play 1-on-1. And I think from there, that's when myself and Dre's relationship took another toll. And then you always got to shout out Lou Will. Lou Will's just the illest to ever do it. I remember going through one of like my toughest times in the league. You know, I was pretty green at the time, and I remember, I think I probably got a DNP or something. We're flying to Detroit, and I was super out of it. And when you're a rookie, you got the guys that are kind of like jerk offs to you, like, the rookie ain't play, like, go out to the damn rookie ain't scored tonight. Look at him, like, his career over. Like, NBA dudes, they alphas, but they also do some bitch ass shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look what they tweeting. You like,
all right.
Yeah, so Lou will text me like, listen, bro, and you know, meet me in the lobby in 10 minutes. It's not up for debate. So when I show up, we go to the lobby. We're at the Townsend in Detroit, go next door to the bar and stuff. Lou Will orders like 6 shots. Like me, Lou, Spencer. So like with each shot, we doing this shit. Lou's just like, look, bro, this some hoop shit, bro. Like you can't forget who you are. Like you came in, you know what I mean? Evan Turner, you're always gonna be Evan Turner. But the number one thing is there's so many games. To be a real pro, you gotta worry about your mental. If you're gonna be mad because you play, it's 4 games in a week, you're gonna be up and down all week. He's like, man, that's just some weak shit. He's like, showing that much emotion is sensitive. Like, you too cool for that. I know you ain't soft. So he's like, bro, whatever you do going forward, just know who you are, know what you can do. But don't let this hoop shit, like, bother you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, compete, work, but, like, day in and day out, you gotta be your own best friend. And that's like one of the first real times I got drunk, but, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's the first real time I really remember, you know, I got some real talk from Lou. And, you know, it kind of, you know, helped my career at that point because it was early in. I didn't really know what the league was. And, you know, when you go in and dominating and struggling, you really, you don't recognize yourself. And I always thought that was cool. And then, you know, with Elton Brand, he would always just say, this is you know, it's an unreal job. Take M's and M's, millions of memories. You know what I mean? You're getting paid millions to set a screen and make a layup. It's unreal life. Like, don't let this shit stress you. Just keep your cool and remember just to keep your balance. And that's one thing I just learned that really I took with me throughout the NBA. It's just no matter what occurs, I know what I can do great. And I know for the longest time when it looked good or bad, I was like, bro, I have to remember if I'm not a starter or a superstar, I'm still good enough to play top 8 rotation, which is 25 plus minutes. And through there, I got to make my reputation and my niche.
Yeah, that's a good vet. Right? Yeah. No, that's a good vet, you know, to really, because, you know, most vets that want that time, they're going to let you go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and Lou Will's 2 years, I was 22, Lou Will was 24. You know what I'm saying? So, like, think about it. He could have hated on me.
He could have hated
on me.
You know what I mean?
Or he used to tell me stories when I be in practice mad, like, bro, we running plays, or like he try to make me run his plays because he didn't feel like getting in. I'm like, bro, why am I running your plays if I ain't going to shoot him in the game? He's like, when I was a rookie, they used to sub me out for the coach. So it's like, bro, like go, like enjoy practice, enjoy doing all this, but like you're getting built up to, you know, pay your dues, and this is, you know, what other pros respect. And I had to learn how to get the respect of my teammates much more than like that of the public, because I would have never lasted in that sense. So when people are like killing me or saying like, yo, you're number 2 pick, you weren't shit, I hear Isaiah Thomas say, yo, who's the best? Who's one of the best teammates you ever had? It's like, yo, Evan Turner. Or like we do interviews and like they'll give Dre their credit and might be like, yo, low key, people don't know, but ET is really, you really put in some work, you did your thing, like hell of a career, you know? Or like sometimes people love Tatum and Tatum might come up and be like, yo, you're my favorite player growing up back at Old State. So like there's little wins you could take from it. You can't listen to the outsiders, but you know.
And that's what they don't tell us when we're coming into a sport. Like, you have the coach, you have the general manager, you have what society thinks is your position.
Yeah.
When that position is only granted by your teammates.
Correct.
You have to earn your spot within that team because it's only y'all.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that. Like if you don't,
they don't sell it to the team, we'll never believe it. If it's like what they say with like in Sopranos, the mob, you couldn't flip them. Yeah. You couldn't flip them. So when it comes down to it, we stay with Tony. But it's a man's league, bro. People don't understand it. Like, bro,
so you come in thinking, you hit me in practice and you over there running to the coach and we sitting there looking like this goof.
It's,
you start doing it as a team, like he ain't getting the ball.
Yeah, but also too from your position as an alpha, like to say who the man is, like the team says who the man is.
The team, the players say who the man is.
So you're going alpha amongst alpha, and it's like, nah, it ain't hard to accept your role, like going in Portland, or else like if you don't understand it's Dame shit, you're gonna get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So
let's talk a little bit just about playing Philly. So Philly fans, Philly media can be very passionate, sometimes a little too passionate.
Yeah, man.
How did you deal with that shit?
No, to be honest with you, I always say this. Like, Bobby Knight says, you know, journalism's a step above prostitution. Like, you can't really take none of that shit too serious. Like, when I realized who was writing on me, like beat writers, and it's like, bro, this dude used to play lacrosse. Like,
hey, lacrosse is a good sport,
no,
but I
shout out
understand
to
what
lacrosse,
you're
but
saying.
like, don't say shit to me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? And then like you're publishing stuff. Like, these are you publishing stuff. I'm like, bro, I'm not tripping, but this is killing my reputation.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like then like only thing that used to bother me is like, damn, my mom. Like, my mom raised her kid. My mom loves me, and it's just like, all right, bro, y'all putting out some stuff that's just OD. But Philly's really a city of brotherly love, and the only positive I can take from it is it just made me tougher. Like, once I left there, nothing really bothered me. It almost made me a sicko, not like Gil type sicko. But like, my friends will tell you, I laugh at everything, and like the ship could be going down. And it's like, you like me, cool. If you hate me, cool. Do I suck? Cool. But like, I try to. It made me just really pay attention to the results and the analytics, and just how to move in a room full of vultures. Anytime you get a whole city hating you or like disliking you on something that you love or passionate about, that's going to teach you some type of toughness. And you get your stripes from that and you move on.
I mean, for me as a dude who never hooped in the league, I always have just an amazing amount of respect for all you do because I know how difficult it is, even to go from high school to college to the league. Then you see kind of these, I don't want to call them dweebs, but a lot of them are dweebs, and you see these people, and they've got these names and the stature from writing articles, blogging, doing all this shit, and then you look at them, it's like, what? You never ran a 17 in your life. You never had to, run a sprint, suicide, whatever it may be, just be in those locker rooms, play an 82-game season, but we'll hurl those shots out, we'll talk all that crazy shit, so.
Yeah, no, I've been, it's crazy. I've coached before. I've been in certain environments where we've been, I'm saying the coach's locker room, but I've heard scouts and people be like, man, these guys suck. These guys suck. And you'll sit there and be like, yo, when did we lose humility?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? Like, this is one of the top 450 players in the world. Like, this kid's been doing something for over 10,000 hours since he was a kid. He's going to every basketball camp, every game, every situation you need to go to climb that mountain and give himself an opportunity to go play in what, it's 0.2% of a league? Like, there's 8 billion people in the world. By me appealing this at 15, y'all gonna tell me how great she is, right? Little kids who do gymnastics, backflipping and stuff, they're gonna have an opportunity to be at the Olympics and be on a Wheaties box and loved for forever. The kid that came out like a systemic oppression and it wasn't set up for him is able to go into the NBA, able to break his way through and continue to go up against lions every single day. We're talking about they suck. And I'm like, the game is messed up because of that alone.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, anybody else, this would be a prodigy. It's one of 450 in the world. Shout out to all the doctors. There's 100,000 doctors. A lot of them suck, but somehow you stand up. Sir, yes, sir, Mr. This and the other. And on the backside, they throwing special K to people. You know what I mean? They worse than,
majority of them suck.
And shout out to the doctors. I'm just
It's all good. No, it's all
like,
good.
when we break it down,
but you're right.
And we add all this up, it's like, I think that's the only thing that kind of gets away from the game, or if I have to nitpick at it, because what you don't understand and like the words you say adds to the perception. And when there's so few NBA players, only like 5,000 of us ever. You go to the front office, 180,000 people working. So now we start going out, the truth and the narrative is going to be drowned out by whatever everybody else says that has no experience. And I don't know how else it works for anybody else, but we've never been able to even walk into, I don't know about you walk in a room and tell you what I know. We'll have to second guess it or fact check it. But now it's hard to talk basketball when you played your whole life and sacrificed it.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to ask people why. So,
and just what have you seen from that basketball discourse? A lot of talented people in this space too, so I'm not trying to shit on everybody. But I feel like the conversation is just gone off the wheels now with how people talk about, like, Gil, you'll say something and I'll see people respond and be like, how can he talk about this, that, or whatever? I'm like, you're talking about a 3-time All-NBA player, gave Kobe 60, gave Steve Nash 54. Like, he can talk about whatever he wants about basketball.
With me, I know they're stupid. Right? So that makes it easier because all I have to do is just, like, I'll say something like, Isaiah Thomas is overrated at number 3. No one hears 3, right? They just heard overrated. So then they just jump out the window. Jump. Right? I said 3, right? Or, I'm better than Steph Curry by the age of 25. All they heard was I'm better than Steph Curry. Right? So I mess with people because I know they're,
no, that's real.
And I know they don't pay attention to everything. They just hear what they want, then they respond. They don't hear to actually understand or learn. So, like, even when I used to deal with the media was always on my side because I beat them to their punch. If I had a horrible game, right? I don't let them tell me I have a horrible game. I tell them I had a horrible game. Right? But hey, so how was tonight? Man, I play like shit, bro. I don't know what I was ball hogging like shit. Like, I do all that. Now they be like, damn, I was just gonna get down on I was getting ready about to lay it into you. I was like, I missed the open shot there, missed the layup. I probably didn't get enough sleep. Like, I'm just gonna do it to myself so you can't.
Yeah, that's genius, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's like you got on if you tell me I got on a black shirt, they can't be like, you wearing a black shirt? Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I felt that, and I think you dealt with the media the best possible way. Besides, when they try to come and get you.
I was. It was a different time. I had the NBA blog, right? So I had the NBA blog before media really blew up.
You think you're getting too powerful? You think? Or too influential in certain ways?
With me is
you think that's a thing?
With me, it was I had too much power for my immaturity.
And you're in DC too.
Yeah,
you're on like crazy.
Like when I say like I was too immature to have the kind of pull I had. Yeah. Right? Like there's certain people you just can't. Like I'm like the Joker. You just can't give me the keys to every goddamn door.
I say the same. I'm like, all right now. Like 80-20.
I'm sitting here like, I know you told me to be responsible, but what's in that door?
I feel you. Yeah.
Right? And with the owner I had, right, I had immunity.
Yeah.
No matter what I did, he'd look at them like,
yeah, but
it's not Gil. Gil does no wrong.
Yeah, and it's another thing too that like when people say stuff like, Gil, you're a whole moment. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So like when we talk about Kobe, we talk about all these. Like you was like, we're just giving Kobe and I'm 60, dog. Like you were hitting shots, dropping jerseys, like. So all right, man, it was thorough, bro. You're unbelievable.
I just had too much power with my immaturity. Yeah. Like you didn't have to. Like, to be honest, you didn't have to worry about me outside the arena.
Right.
Right. I wasn't clubbing and doing all that. Inside that arena, that was my playground, boy. Paintball, shooting. I'm using all that arena.
Nah,
hide and seek. Yeah. I know you heard.
I heard the Rottweiler story. Yeah. You shit in somebody's shoe one time. The shit in the shoe was aggressive, bro. When you break it down.
Why you shit in somebody's shoe?
Like, you got to hold the shoe.
Why'd you shit in somebody's shoe?
It's a great prank, though.
Because they broke into my house. They broke into my house and shot me while I was asleep with paintballs.
Okay, so that's fine. I didn't know.
So at that point, it's war. I mean, the only thing I can't do is kill you. Yeah. Other than that, everything's under the table. Tie you to the car, run. Like I was wrecking cars.
But the shit in the shoe is the car wreck is great. The shit in the shoe is top notch.
Listen,
it was that's like an ultimate setup.
Like it was great too. If I didn't put the baby powder in there, so when he put his shoe on, he can see the powder, and he's like, "What is this?" If I didn't do that, I think I could have got away with it. He would have been in the jail. I could have got away with it. I used to, almost got him again, Blotch, so his name is Blatche.
Yeah.
Right? So I cut the L, so it's B-I, right? And then covered the C, it was TCH, and then cut off the E, and then cut it out so when he went in the game, it was going to be bitch. Right? And what happened when he put his jersey on, I don't know if it was Calvin Booth, man, and Calvin Booth was like, hey, what's wrong with your jersey? And he took it off and it said bitch on it. I was like, I almost had him.
Bro,
almost had him. That would have been all that would have been. But that's
this show's called No Chill. I'm just going to point that out.
That's what I did when I was bored.
No. Hey. I also saw the 100 threes. You also did the 100 threes a spot or 1,000 threes a spot to make. So I mean, shit.
I knew what my problem was. I worked so much by myself. When I seen you come in, it's friend time.
Yeah, that's real.
Man, what y'all doing, man? What we doing? Like, and you over here like, man, I'm coming to work. I'm like, nah, man. Man, what we doing?
You already got your 10,000, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your early life growing up in Chicago. How did Michael Jordan impact your love of basketball?
Sure, Mike Jordan was everything. He was, at that time, it's just a whole moment. I was born in '88. That was Jordan's best year ever, I think. Remember, was his defensive player of the year, averaged 33, all that great stuff. And remember just growing up, I just remember just wanting to be like Mike. By the time, you always remember all the champion celebrations at Grant Park. And, everything he did was just super cool. And besides that being a basketball city, I just went outside and I just hooped every single day. And I think one thing that occurred just growing up watching NBC and watching all the stuff he did, Michael Jordan made you, a lot of times just believe, like willpower, all those commercials, the movies and everything. He should just put the battery in my back, be legendary, like, you know what I'm saying? And, to us, MJ, was my GOAT, high up in every asset for me.
You said was. Is he still your GOAT?
No, yeah.
Is the GOAT shifted?
MJ's a GOAT. Yeah, I think MJ's a GOAT.
Making sure. You said was. I wanted to make sure he was mine. He did
say, like, to me, like, not even when you were a kid, MJ was like God level to you. You know what I'm saying? So I still got MJ #1. And, I be arguing, and people get mad at me. Obviously, Bryant is right behind, but I always argue Tim Duncan.
What's funny is someone put Tim Duncan at 3, right? And I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, I can't argue.
You can't, bro.
I can't argue.
You walked in first team All NBA from day one.
I can't argue. And I'm sitting there like, I can't argue this.
Yeah.
I'm Kobe's 3, but you saying 3, I can't argue it.
Yeah. Well, Kobe fans will argue their head-to-head, and obviously Lakers had that advantage there.
Kobe fans true Kobe fans, Kobe's better than Jordan, right? All our greats is better than everybody else. Yeah. Penny Hardaway is still top 5 to me, so no one's going to convince me, right? That's just how I am. Yeah. When it comes to who's the greatest ever, no one's going to ever win that argument because you're going to use stats to try to trump this person versus this person. The problem with LeBron ever going to be in front of Jordan is Jordan, the greatest of everything. When you're talking about the Bugatti of Bugattis, right? How it looked, how it ran, how it sounded, that was the mode that was built, right? And you can't build it exactly the same. Everything else is going to be copycat. How he talked, his movies, inspiration, right? Dropping the movie while he played, did these documentaries while he played. From his shoes. Like it was just all of it together.
And The Last Dance even just shows like said MJ was always present. The world was going crazy around him. And it was like a walk in the park to him, bro. And I thought he always chose and picked his spots, but MJ was just a man.
Gil, I just signed up for Rocket Money and I'm already saving some big money after discovering several paid subscriptions I completely forgot about.
I couldn't believe when I heard the average American spends nearly $200 a month on subscriptions. If you don't know exactly how much you're spending every month, you need Rocket Money.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills, all in one place.
Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $720 a year.
Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/no-chill. That's rocketmoney.com/no-chill.
Cha-ching!
What was it like the first time meeting MJ?
Man, I was actually at, it was crazy. I signed with his agent, David Falk. So David Falk was turning like 60, and he invited me to his 60th birthday. So he's like, it's gonna be at this country club and all this, and such and such gonna be there, and Mike's gonna be there. So I'm like, oh, Mike, like that. I'm finna wear a suit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I know, Mike used to always scream out, like, you do it this way, you do it that way. I'm gonna say less. Like, I know exactly what I'm finna wear. Like, so when I sit down, that was the year I got drafted. And I played versus Mike's kids growing up, so not like I knew him.
Did you cook?
Stop playing.
I had to know.
Everything before 2010 was treacherous.
Was Mike ever at those games?
I think he might have been when we played in the Big Ten tournament.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he might have been.
Okay.
But I had like 30s and stuff. Like Mike was aware. Like,
okay.
He was aware. Yes. Like I didn't get signed to him, so he's probably hell no. But when he had met me, he's actually sitting behind me, and you look over and you're like, man, I don't want to impede. So my old agent that came up was like, you want to meet Mike? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to meet Mike. Type shit. And Mike had I think he had been on the golf course most of the day, so he was pretty, heavy in, but to see him like just no, but let me say this. Like you show up there like, yo, make sure like this is a dress code. Like I wore a suit regardless, but you can't wear jeans. You walk in, Mike got on jeans. Ripped
boot
up,
cuts.
like, you know what I mean? It's like you're at a country club, kind of be quiet. Mike's kind of, it's his world type shit. And I just remember seeing him being like, yeah, this is what this is what a GOAT looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
it just looked like greatness. And he's just like, yo, Evan, you ready? I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he shook my hand, and it was just like, you know, Paul's got the biggest hands ever and all that. And it was just one of those dope things. You got to meet one of the greatest athletes of all time, man. So I was blessed. It was a blessing.
Man, that aura. Like when you hear superstars, you see them. Like most fans, you just see Mike on TV, and then it's the crowd.
Yeah.
In public, on some of how these people move, you be like, as an NBA player, you just be like, man, I want it just like that, bro. I mean,
and it's like the coolest, bro. The coolest, bro. Like literally the coolest.
People fainting. Like there's like AI, Cole, you know, Bron. You know what's so funny is Bron don't have it like that because he's seen more.
Yeah, I mean
he's seen more, so it's kind of really like he's really one of the homies to like the AAU circuit.
Yeah, true. And I think Brian too. Like he's also, you know, Brian he's very aware in his circle. So like if you're on about, Brian might come up to you first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that type of aura kind of takes away the mystique of like what, you know, MJ, you might see his car and he hit the gas on your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? You'll never see MJ. So like you be like, man, cool. And I'm like, yeah, all right, well, then we good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and you know, it's a fine line between that because you hear a lot of stories of people being like, you should have never met your idol. Sometimes you're like, man, that man was weird as hell, or you can never look at him the same. So, but you know, shout out to MJ for, you know, everything he's done.
I got a teammate who wish he didn't meet his idol.
Who, Nick Young?
No.
Who?
Kwame Brown.
I played with Kwame Brown.
Oh, you play? Oh,
I played with Kwame Brown, man. Kwame. It's funny to see y'all go back and forth, man.
We text every day.
Oh, do y'all?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
We text every day. It's just the shit.
But is it hate text? Like,
no.
Is it like
what he does is it's like he warns me first.
That's my speech. Yes, I love each other.
Yeah. So what were you doing when you were in this picture? And he's about to go live. Right? But it's one of those things like, I know it ain't no beef because there was no beef when we played.
Yeah.
Right? I heard the MJ story, right? Yeah. I went to Jordan camp, so I know how MJ moved, right? And you have to be a different dude mentally to understand the pokes. Yeah. And he's trying to see if you're gonna bite back. And my story with MJ is when I went to Jordan camp and I scored 40, right? And then, he come to me and say, yo, you remind me of a player. And I'm thinking it's him. And he told me Randy Brown.
What you like? Damn,
Randy Brown. Like
Randy
it was
Brown,
like Randy
Brown was tough though.
I just scored 40.
No, you're right.
Randy Brown was a defensive player, hustle guy, had the energy, right?
Shout out to Randy and Joe.
Right. So I'm sitting back at the room like, Randy Brown. Who he thinks I'm Randy Brown? All right, I got something for him. Watch tomorrow. Like he messed up my whole night,
bro.
Like I trained too much to be Randy Brown playing defense, bro. Like not no defensive player, bro.
Nah, bro, that reminds me.
Like I'm thinking Jordan, bro. I'm thinking he's saying me. You remind me of a little me.
No, I feel you. No, that's real. Bro. One time, right? Yo, so I get a new coach in Philly, Sam Brown, right? No. Coach Brown. He's my man. Sam Brown's his son. Shit.
Brett
Brett Brown. Brett Brown. I'm tweaking. Shout out Sam Brown.
Shout out. That's
Brett Brown's my guy. So when I meet him, I'm like, Coach, what's going on? We're at the band. I'm doing this, that, and the other. I want to talk to you about my role. What do you think I do better? And I do that. Hey. So this is Drew's leaving. It's going to my 4th year. Contract's coming up. So like, I'm still in the mode of trying to make it. So he sits there. He's like, bro, to be honest with you, man, I see you playing like Richard Jefferson. And like in my head, I'm like, I'm finna kill this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, okay, I keep it like cash. I'm like, bet. Like, you know me, and if you know me, I'm like, man, most coaches don't know shit. So like in my head, I'm like, of course. So I leave, I'm like, I call my agent, I'm like, yo, bro, I gotta get up out of here. And he's like, why? I'm like, bro, he said I play like Richard Jefferson. I can't dunk for shit. I'm like, bro, what are you, like, I play nothing like Richard Jefferson. He catch lobs, like, I play with the ball. I'm like, bro, he don't even know my game, Richard Jefferson. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I was nervous. Mind you, shout out to Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson was a force, so I'm not dissing.
No, he was trash.
But like,
the beef continues.
In New Jersey?
He was a role player.
He's an all-star at one point, wasn't he?
And it was because team wins.
I dig you from my position.
My teammates.
I dig you, but from my position, when I'm sitting here, like respectfully speaking, like shit, when I'm leaving there, I would have loved to have a Richard Jefferson career. But when I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, out of all the people you were talking about, like, I'm thinking last year, like Brandon Roy or this, the third. I think say Richard Jefferson. I'm like, man, my shit is over. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then obviously, you know, I was able to play and did whatever. I went 5 more years, but it's funny to see where people see your mind at and your game at compared, and then, you know, you have to really, you know, draw a line in between there.
No, I learned, don't. You tell them who you think you are.
Yeah. I think I did something like that in college, and it worked.
I think I'm Jordan.
Yeah.
I think I should get the same shots.
Yeah.
But if you don't, like,
they'll play you.
Like, they'll play you just how they see you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've learned that a coach really don't know what he wants until you give him that shit.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
They have an idea, like, this is what we're going to do. You come, you know, like I remember it was before training camp, coaches like, you know, how many minutes he's going to break down, right? They got all that shit planned.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't even go through training camp yet. You don't even know who's ready to play.
Yeah.
How are you just going to determine minutes? Because I can tell you right now, 38 minutes ain't enough for me. Right? There's 4, that's 10 minutes I got to sit there. Like, I'm thinking 41, 43. So you better you know, calculate that shit.
No, that's real. No, I feel you. Hey,
you know what I mean? You know, AI playing, I'm thinking we're playing against these teams. AI ain't coming out,
40,
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if I play him 38 and AI's playing 44, that's, you know, he gonna take over the game. No, that's not what we're doing. That's how I'm thinking.
No, that's real. No, I remember.
And plus, I don't want to sit on the bench. Right? My first year, I said enough. I said enough on that. I didn't want to sit back there no more.
No, I feel you. I remember, you know, being in Boston a little bit. I went to Boston the first couple months. You know, Rondo was still there, and you know, obviously Rondo, one of the best minds and basketball players ever. And like, just to attest to what you say, tell the coaches what it is. And I remember at the end of the game, a few times. This isn't any Rondo slur. We didn't get a couple shots off or certain shots and then go like that certain way. And I remember walking up to my position coach, and I'm like, look, I know I just got here. I'm not trying to step on no toes, and I know, like, if I say this, you might laugh. But if it comes down to, like, crunch time moments, I'm really good in those moments. Like, so shout out to, like, Rondo. Like, if he might not be able to get a shot off, like, I might. I've done it before. Just go look at the stats. Like, I've done it numerous times. Like, just go look. Like, even in my NBA career, at that time, it's like 24-10. Like, just listen to me. Like, even, like, under 10 seconds. Like, I'm not lying to you. I can do that. And remember, like, the next day, Brad had listened, and, you know, not saying I was like a big clutch guy, but I was able to step up and take shots down the stretch when, you know, obviously when Rondo left and shit. But, you know, when you tell your coaches to have that type of confidence in yourself, sometimes, you know, at this level, it could open more doors, you know?
Yeah, actually, you know, I always, that's what I'm looking for. You know, when you're looking at a team, you're looking at, you know, the guy who's a first 3-quarter guy.
Yeah.
Right? Who's a 4th quarter guy? Who's a last 2-minute guy? Who's my gamer?
Yeah.
Right? My gamer might only play 4 minutes, but his brain turns it on in certain moments. He knows how to slow the game down.
Yeah.
So there'll be moments where, like, you might be 15 on the roster, but you have something in the last minute of the game that just nobody has. And it's like, that's the guy you sub in. And people are like, yo, you crazy for that.
Yeah. Like,
no, you just don't know basketball.
Yeah.
You think because he's the star player, he's great in these moments. No. That's not always the case.
Yeah,
he's a front runner.
No, that's real. And you remember before we knew it, and shout out to my man Paul George, he's killing the pie. But at one point, nobody even knew Paul hadn't hit a shot like below 5 seconds. It's been like 8 or 9 years before, like in a crutch. You can use that example, and not saying like that reason, but there's other guys on the bench that might be able to close out a game. And Paul has come up and, you know, become a clutch player now. But, you know, when you start breaking down like the results of everything, there's truths about a lot, and, you know, false narratives about a lot as well.
So let's go back to your rookie season.
You ever hit a game winner?
Hell yeah. I could tell.
Back in the day, Gil. Not a ton.
College?
No, I was not getting run to college. Good
school?
Screens, GPA raiser. Yeah, hit him in high school.
Okay. They give you the post.
You taking shots.
I'm just trying to figure out. I don't want to leave you out. You get a couple hook shots?
I had a jumper.
You made D1, I believe you hit a game winner.
Yeah, before. Not a ton, but enough. Also had some sad moments that have haunted me to this day.
Man.
But experience both sides of it. Think about the bad shit more than the good shit, of course. Always. But let's go back to your rookie season. Very first NBA game. You play against the Heatles, that LeBron crew.
Yeah, that
LeBron, D-Wade, Bosh. What do you remember from that game? Were you nervous at all going up against D-Wade and LeBron?
Man, hell yeah. Well, for one, it was my first game. It was my 22nd birthday. So I remember that. And then I remember coming into the game because, you know, I was coming off the bench. So I remember going into that and, you know, your debut of like having to shake off of like what you thought in your head. Like I get drafted, I'm supposed to do this and that. Excuse me, I'm seeing everybody else like John starting, number 3 pick starting, number 4 pick starting. Like I'm trying to take it serious enough to like not scream, like, what are we doing? But, you know, I remember coming in and just thankfully having a decent game. But being able to see like what greatness was and like how high of a level I had to play at. You know, Brian and D-Wade, talk about their skill set and you know, how naturally gifted they are, but I don't think they get enough credit for how hard they played or like how prepared they were, or like the things they do to win, or like how much they affect winning. A lot of times the narrative is just like, he's just talented, but like those dudes were talking, they were vocal. I mean, shit, like alone just in a one-on-one matchup was tough. I remember, you know, coming down one of the plays of the game and seeing D-Wade in front of me, like, you know, a Chicago legend. And I just hit him with a right to left and hit a pull-up, you know, and the whole crowd went crazy. I remember him coming back down, trying to score on me, and then I went back and scored on him. And I just remember him coming down, trying to see like what I could do, because the game we were down like 15 or whatever. But it was cool to just you know, get the awareness of him, because you know, to play in the NBA is a dream and a goal, and that's just one thing I really remember.
Sure. Was that the first?
Yeah, that was the
first year.
Lost
So
of the man.
Carlos Arroyo was the point guard. That's how
they had
early it was.
They had the old bench.
Yeah, so you had Joel, Anthony playing a decent amount. Was Norris Cole there probably?
I think Mike Bibby was there for a little bit.
Yeah, Mike Bibby. I mean, like I said, Carlos Arroyo started. So, but I thought that first game was lit.
He was nice.
Carlos Arroyo? What he did to Team USA back in the day with Puerto Rico was crazy.
What he did to me, my rookie year.
What'd he do?
I still don't know. I don't want to watch film, but but we was playing Toronto, so he was in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right, rookie season, and we got put in at the end of the game, right? And I don't know, missed shot. He's on a fast break, and he did some fake, made me turn around, and then I see there was nobody there, and turned back around. He was that way. I did a whole 360. All I heard was ooh ah.
And every time you see him, you be like,
and like back then the rule was like, you know, like we had IR, right? So back then it was like, all right, 5 days on, 5 games on, 5 games off, 5 games on. So we're basically going 5 games on, then it's the next person. So that was my first game on. That was it. IR. And then I was on IR for like 20-something games, bro. I was miserable. I didn't want to wake up. I was like, I don't even know who he is, man.
That was in Golden State?
I was like, I don't know who he is. He coming off the bench doing this to me. I don't belong in this league, man.
And back then, and like I say, like now the league, like back then, like a dude like Carlos Arroyo coming from Puerto Rico, like when you're in the league back then, like that was the truth. Like it was the best of the best. Like now, not saying anybody can break in, but like this is a dog-eat-dog world. So like I knew Carlos was like really like that when I was a shorty, and he went with Puerto Rico to beat USA. That's OD.
Man, it's like trigger. Ah, man. I hated that man for a while because of that, bro. He put me on the bench, sitting there. Same suit, didn't have no money. Broke, ain't got no girls.
I respect you, man. He's rocking the same suit. Different shirt, same suit.
Same clothes, bro. I spent all my money on my Escalade.
Dry cleaning it.
What are you talking about? No. I didn't know nothing about none of that,
stinky
bro.
booty in the suit.
I didn't know nothing about that. I had the same suit on, going to each city, bro. Same suit. We wasn't on TV. We sorry.
I remember Darrell Wright. He was telling me that Eddie Jones, when he's in Miami, he said Eddie Jones used to give him like some of those Walker suits. You know what I'm saying? So he said he kept wearing the same thing over and over. And he said during one time out, he was like, young fella, if you wear that suit one more time, I'm going to take that shit and put it up there next to MJ's. Next to MJ, he said, I wore that shit. He said, you wear that shit one more time and take that shit and put it up next to MJ's.
That's funny.
So you grew up idolizing MJ, but you said Kobe was a close second.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that first game. I read the story that some of your teammates said, don't look that man in the eyes. Don't look him in the eyes. Like some Indiana Jones, your whole body was going to freeze and break down. But what was your reaction when your teammates told you that? And then how did that compare to actually getting the chance to play against Kobe?
It was pretty crazy because I had met Kobe like 6 months prior because, Rob Pelinka. So, at the time, like 6 months prior to starting the league, I was on top of the world. So, like, I'm talking to Kobe. We would text, like, all this and the other. And I'm like, that don't sound like Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, legit, I'm like, he seemed like a pretty good guy. Like, no, bro. Like, he's looking for any edge, bro. He's a killer. Like, legitimate killer. I'm like, are you sure? When I go out there, obviously I never knew, Kobe took the game serious, but like he was out there kind of like trash talking, telling folks like, yo, we going to the post.
Yep.
We going to the post. Fade away, like, like dunking and everything. I'm like, he's doing that to Jody Meeks. So they're like, Evan, check in, go get him. I'm like, get him. He's already cooking. And you got like get him, like, go get him. Like, all right, bet. So after like, probably gave him like 30 straight, like something like that. Not 30 straight OD, but down the line, it was a close game. And he for sure scored 8 straight on me. And like every shot was like, it was all contest and everything. I remember walking to the bench and, Doug Collins was a critical coach in a sense. And I remember Kobe looking back, smiling at me, and I'm pissed. And Doug was like, it's all right, young fella. Like, that's Kobe Bryant. When the fourth quarter hits, it turns into an ocean. And I just remember that. And I just remember being like, man, that dude is, to get that type of reputation from like a dude like Doug or like I said, it's an alphas league and everybody's like, that's the man. I was like, you got to really be good to kind of everybody solidify your gangster without you saying it,
So you signed a 4-year deal with the Blazers in 2016. I think Dame was pretty active in recruiting you to get you to go over there. What are your thoughts now on this whole Dame Lillard Blazer situation, him requesting a trade to the Heat?
I like it. I think it's long overdue, to be honest with you. I think Dame, one thing you love about him is his confidence. It's crazy confidence. You know what I mean? I've been in his house where he's got all-star awards and all NBA awards and stuff, and he's like, I think I need to start really adding hardware. Like, to me, I'm like, bro, I ain't won a trophy since I was in college. Like, I only get participation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now, but like, when you sit there, I'm like, damn, like, so what you want to do next? Like, I think I can get first team. And like, during this time, I'm like, well, Steph is around, like, type shit. But like, how his mindset works, it goes that same way with how he develops and prepares for like Portland. You really believe you can win a championship in Portland, and I think he can win a championship anywhere, but, sometimes you got to go out and, go find the right situation. So I'm glad he's able to do that and be able to put himself in a better position because, as playoffs, it's great, it's a great platform for great players. And one thing that occurs that you miss sometimes every playoff is a Dame Lillard or the years that Steph might not make it or something like that. It's like those are viral moments that you're missing. Or even running deeper into it, you might, when you're dealing with legacy, those are parts of legacies that are very important to the game of basketball. And I think, he works effortlessly and tirelessly and, so much to try to get in that position that he needs to find the right position and, put himself in the best area to win. And I think if it's Miami, cool, but I want to see Dame and Tatum. I want to see a Dame and Tatum. I want to see
That'd be a good one. Ooh.
Yeah. So do you think the Blazers have any obligation, everything he's done for that franchise, they have any obligation whatsoever to fulfill his request and send him to the Heat? Or is it just like whatever deal we get that's the best, that's the deal we rocking with?
Yeah, I think like when I got two different situations. When you retire, you kind of like, you feel a certain type of way. You kind of see everything realistic.
realistic. You
know what I mean? And when you're playing, you're like, man, It's not, I understand what you want because you're giving your whole mind and body to an organization. So for sure, they should honor it. But at the same time, this is the real world. You get paid, you signed your name to a $120 million, sign sheet. And, a lot of guys have to do what's best for them. So when they were doing that stuff of Miami Heat tried to send Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson for a top 75 player from Oakland, hell no, bro. I don't give a damn if the points match up. Or the money. Like, I need a superstar. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I need a superstar back.
So I think Portland has to do what makes sense for them. But off the strength, I think, Dame's not wrong for asking that, but it's a business.
So you were an assistant coach with the Celtics a few years ago. You talked about you like to see Dame with Tatum and that crew. But let's just talk a little bit about Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
What did you see from them back when you were coaching versus what do you see from them now? And do you think that they can win a championship together on the Celtics, or the time to break that thing up?
I think, the one thing that you see when you look at like a top player is like what's natural. I think like they're naturally confident. And like just even being 22 or 23, Tatum moves like he knows where his career is going. You understand what I'm saying? How Jaylen Brown moves or takes himself so serious. You kind of, see the greatness is coming from. And that's before they even hit the court. And then once they got on the court and, you see two guys and go, guard both ways and score at a high level, I used to have to check and be like, are they really 23 years old and 24 years old? Like, the sky's the limit for them. I don't see if they do stick together, I don't really see a duo that can really, so much, handle them in that sense, getting older. Okay. And I see a championship in their future. They just have to, put the right type of team together.
Okay. So you wouldn't break them up this early, right?
Not unless it's for somebody OD. But I wouldn't. But, I mean,
it's like it's like 25, 20.
Is Dame that somebody?
Like 24, 25. I mean, 24, 25 is like, how do I break up this early?
And that's what I'm saying. And,
even though they've been together 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But it's still only 24, 25.
And that's,
you know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. I think one thing that has to occur a lot, you don't ever want to bring it up, is the others. Sometimes you just got to make sure you go with the other. Were you the one that brought up all the stats the other day when it was the Heat Celtics matchup of like where like the players rank? Like,
yep, that was me. Like they was, yeah.
That was brilliant, bro.
Yeah. The trash table.
That was brilliant. But I think like, you look at the game 7, Jason Tatum got hurt and it was over after that. Yeah. You have to build a crazy team around them where that they weathers the storm. You know what I'm saying? But I think if you keep those two together, who can really mess with them?
So you talked about Tatum and Brown being one of the top duos in the league. I want to talk about another duo, Joker and Jamal Murray. So let's go back 2019 with the Blazers at Game 7. I think you'd only scored like 4 or 6 points in the 6 games prior. Yeah. But Game 7, you cooked, though.
Yeah, let me answer that, too, bro. Okay. That's what really pissed me off, too, because they be doing narratives. So, it's like you only scored like 4 or 6 points. I shot 3 times, and 2 of them were forced. Like, just to be like, y'all got me up. Like, you know what I mean? I played 4 minutes. So I'm like...
I'm just saying, what you did in the first 6, now go to a pivotal Game 7, to go to the Western Conference Finals, you come in, the 14-piece, 10 in the fourth quarter.
What did you play? So he knows. 4 minutes, right?
I only played 4 minutes. Right. So I only played like 4 or 5 minutes in that situation. Even prior, I think we played OKC. I barely played. Then we played Denver. I was only playing 4 or 5 minutes. We go to Game 6. We go back there. I didn't shoot that game either. I had 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and I just guarded Paul Millsap. Now, the night before the Game 7, we go to Denver, and Dame hits me and it's like, yo, I really need Jamal. We really need to get this. I'm like, bro. Ask Dollar this. I'm Gucci. I was like, tell them to play me, bro. I do shit like this. Like, I play in games like this. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm fine. Like, just give me minutes. If you want to win, I know I sound crazy. Give me minutes, bro. I play in games like that. I will perform tomorrow. And they said, bro, just be ready. Just stay ready. I said, bro, I'm telling you, I do shit like that. So whatever happens the next day, we getting blown out to start. And then I think Rodney Hood got hurt. So I was able to play. And for there, we were able just to go out and was able to come out and get a double-double and help the franchise get to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in like 20 years. So that was...
So how gratifying you, though? Like 8 seconds left. You guys are up by 2. You got those 2 free throws. You come and knock them down, make it a 4-point lead. Are you looking at the bench talking shit? I mean, what's going on? What's going through your head at that point?
Prior to... I was kind of, me and Isaiah Thomas was on the other bench, so that's my man. So we were talking nonstop just throughout the game. So I used to always joke like, I'm big time down the stretch. I'm big time down the stretch. And he would always say, you got him in you? So he's asking, you got it in you? I'm like, if you look at the film, I'm like, bro, this is over. Like legitimate over. Like Paul Millsap, like, you been talking all that shit. I'm like, bro, you can book your vacate. It's over. Like, especially if I'm playing, like, I need this look. I'm gonna go score, post, get me 12,000 likes, and like, you know what I mean? Like, and be the man for 36 hours. You know? When you hot, you hot. Yeah. So I think the number one thing is just gratifying and just staying into it because like you say, in this league, you really gotta be your own best friend, your own worst enemy. And sometimes when you hear those chirps and shit of being like, oh, he only scored 4, like he's making $18 million a year and this, that, and the other, it's like, no, you love a moment where you can come back and be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And like, I can play. I've been able to play. When you found me, I was able to play. Like, it's situational. And you know, you don't really get so much mad at that essential because you're really in a war. So to survive in advance, like, I'm just glad I was able to have that part of, you know, whatever the journey was.
Hey, did they still talk? Did they still interview before the games?
Shit, I ain't do it to me.
Like, like before games, like like before the game.
Oh yeah, they do
Yeah,
interview.
they do.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
actually.
see, I stopped that
Why?
because there was nothing you were gonna tell me before the game that was gonna help me perform.
Yeah.
But you can my confidence up. You can say something that I probably didn't want to hear, like, "Oh, you're gonna pass the ball there. You're gonna do,"
Yeah,
like
that's real.
make me second guess.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
So I didn't allow the media to talk to me before game.
That's
And it just takes away, like, it was just one of those things where I'm, you can see, how you just gauge the room, try to, like, how is he ready to play today? How he looking? And then you can see a dude happy, and then reporter says some shit. Now he all in his feelings or whatever.
Yeah.
And once I seen that, I was like, yo, hey, no media moving forward before games. Talk to me after the performance.
Yeah, and that's important because I think one thing they try to call athletes like sensitive or like egotistical or like arrogant or whatever it is, and it's like, nah, like we invest our blood, sweat, and tears. So like you really have to protect like your game, your mental, and your peace at that position because nowadays it's the most talked about sport besides soccer, and everybody just puts their 2 cents in and just run down on it. You know.
So let's talk about that Nugget squad, that Joker Jamal Murray duo, 2019. That was their first time making the playoffs together. I think that was Joker's first year making the All-NBA team. So what impressed you most about his game back then, and did you think he would go on to be as dominant as he is now?
No, they were young and so good. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, like this dude really doing like numbers. And like at that time, it was like he wasn't, like we always said, he wasn't moving fast. He wasn't like he was like dunking on people or anything. So you kind of like, how is this even possible? But I think the one thing that most impressed me was how Murray killed that whole series. You know what I mean? He was like a 19, 20-year-old averaging like 23 or 24 versus, Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. And I thought like what those two did, like that 2-man game, how much they had like real good defenders in a blender. I was like, yo, they're going to be tough if they can ever get their defense together. Because I think we won just because we outsized them. But those, like I said, one thing you notice from them is confidence. And just much like Tatum and everything, those dudes didn't really worry too much about anything. They competed at a high level, but I think they knew the game so much. Jokic knew so much of the game that, like, you're almost like, whoa, if I turn my head, he's going to pick me smooth apart. Or, like, with Murray, like, don't play with that little Canadian boy. Like, he been getting 25, and he knows how to get 25, but he's going to, that's just for now. He's going to get 40 eventually when he starts getting older. And I knew they were coming, that's for sure.
That's real. And then last question I got for you. When you look back at your basketball career, what are you the most proud of? Now that you've gotten a couple years and now to reflect, be out the game, like what are you most proud of from your career?
I just did it, There's been tons of times where I just, thought about quitting or like sometimes, you hear negativity, bro, like you love the game so much, like even coming up, like, am I supposed to be doing this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, like or you even getting the NBA, tell people I'm going to a league and you just see people laughing at you. And like, I think I'm most proud of, putting the belief in myself and like respectfully always having the mindset to be like, you. Like, because if I didn't, I would never be here. And I always thought that was like the best thing. It was tough to, confidence stuff, it's tough to bet on yourself. I don't know about you or whatever, but like when you push through and believe in yourself and shit, it's always like, damn, like I did it. And like, to start when I was like 10 or 11, I was probably like scared or like, to scream that out. But like, come back over that journey of like unknowing of like breaking backs or like, you do with your knee and stuff and, getting injured or going places and not starting and I'm trying to run you out the city or calling you a bus or, they turn down your qualifying offer in Indy and now you're sitting around it's like the last week to is offering you $250,000 to play the game of basketball. Like, I'm just glad, in certain parts I didn't quit or didn't succumb or like give up on myself. You know what I mean? Because there are lessons to be learned on the other side of that door, and there's strength to be had. And in this position, that's what has made me who I am today. So.
For Sure, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, trust me. We was talking before when I said, like, mentally, I stopped watching the game for a while.
Yeah.
Right? It happens, sometimes. Like, and I'm strong-willed. And, when I had got in trouble, like, I blacked out my windows.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to see me. Right? It was like the first time people are judging me for something other than my basketball.
Yeah.
Right? You can tell me, hey, you're a ball hog. I didn't give a shit what you said because I know I'm that.
Yeah.
Right? I know I'm him like that. I'm not gonna pass the ball, right? But when you're talking about me like personally, right? It kind of hurt, and I didn't want to be seen. So I mentally quit. Like that's why I didn't come. Like people think I got blackballed. No, I quit. I just I don't have the same love no more. I don't have the same love no more. So if I don't have the same love and passion, let the young dudes have it. I don't want to sit on the end of somebody's bench and some dude's trying to make this dream.
Yeah.
Right? I'm already part of this 5,700. Right?
Yeah.
And if I keep sitting here trying to get checks, right? Trying to revive this career I fucked off.
Yeah.
Right? There's dudes that are sitting there being cut because of me.
No, and that's real.
And I'm like, nah, like I had my opportunity. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
It slipped.
Yeah.
Right? Your turn. Come on, man.
All right, and that, no, that's real. And sometimes, like, people forget, too. It's like, sometimes you just it's okay to be like, bro, I'm straight. I'm good with it. And, like, why don't you want to do it anymore? Bro, I'm tired of it. Like, not even saying deal with it, but, like, it's cool to not get beat up or not be, like, judged or critiqued for a little bit. Like, bro, I'm straight, bro. I just want peace in my life. Like, and that's it.
Well, we see you doing thing in the pod space. Like I said, we all brothers and family in this pod space. So, man, it's good to see y'all flourishing and doing it.
No, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me on, bro. Y'all be doing y'all thing. Like literally, I see y'all 150 times a day.
Get these checks.
And I appreciate it, man. And like Josiah, you the man for real, naturally, and like Gil,
I know, right?
And you always been a man, bro. So I appreciate you. So
I appreciate you. I think first time I met you, actually, real life SBs last year.
Yeah.
Y'all gave it up, show love. I'm like, Iggy kind of didn't know, he didn't remember, but it's all good.
Yeah, no, your pops and even asked you about your brother. Mariah, he used to hoop too, right?
Yeah.
He was around my age.
Yeah. He went to Tuskegee. He was on Baldwin Hills and all that stuff, but he played at Tuskegee.
No, it was a good show. He was my age.
Quality entertainment. It was quality entertainment for the black community. So
yeah, they had some pieces on there. I was like, AT, I'm like, oh, okay, bet. I'm gonna see Garen.
But this has been another episode of No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. We'll be back with more very soon.